Hey folks, B59 here. Welcome back to Piasa Transport. We're sitting here at the Cape Girardeau wharf, enjoying the sight of all these boats coming in, dropping off goods, picking up goods, going down the river. Beautiful day on the Mississippi. The only thing to mar that is the rather extensive punch list that Eliza Beidel left us from her ops review here in Cape Girardeau. So she took a look at things that needed to be done in Cape Girardeau and then all the way up the Ohio River, Evansville, Louisville, Lexington, and Cincinnati. I am pretty confident she left us more than we can do in one episode. Maybe even more than we can do in 2 episodes. But you know what? We're not going to make any progress unless we get started. So we'll get right to it. And we see the very first thing on her list here is that Cape Girardeau delivery lines need to be optimized. She thinks we should consider 2 lines, our drop-off placement, and the number of our trucks. And she's probably right. So let's take a look here first of all at what's going on in Cape Girardeau in terms of meeting its needs. It's getting about 70% of the bread it needs, and it's getting about 70% of the bricks it needs, or I guess it's just changed to 60% of the bread. So some of that shortfall is due to the supply that we're getting from Louisville on bricks and Memphis on bread. But we also want to make sure that we've optimized the delivery line here in Cape Girardeau so that we can make sure that it's sending out the right signals for demand to the factories. And so probably a good place to start here is let's just first of all take a look and see what coverage we have with our existing line. And you know what we can see is that we have good coverage with the bread for the most part, maybe for the entire part, but we don't have full coverage for the bricks. So I think Eliza was probably right. It makes sense now as Cape Girardeau grows to break up the delivery lines, not have a single combined line, but to have 2 lines with 2 different drop-offs so that they can reach all of the different places in town that need it. And to make that work best, I think we also want to... Currently at this warehouse, we have one of the platforms that are being used for the delivery of the food and the bricks, and the other one which is just a drop-off for the lumber that's coming out of the Cape Girardeau sawmill. So what we could do here first of all is let's stop these lumber trucks from coming into this warehouse. They can just drop it off, maybe up here. Let's take a look at what we can do with our drop-off here. If we put a drop-off, we put one there, it will reach. It will reach to the wharf. It will reach to the wharf, I think. Just make sure we got that. Yes. And so then we can put maybe a little bit of a road right here. I really want to remove that many big buildings. Can we do it with just one building? About like this. Yeah. Or how about with a little bit of curve? There we go. One building and good coverage. And now let's go ahead and tell our lumber trucks to stop going into the warehouse. So we need to go into this line. And we're going to add a station. We're going to add this station. And we're going to have it unload the trucks there. And we're going to get rid of this stop. And so now we have a lumber truck line that's running from there to there. The other thing we should do while we're here is just consider whether this lumber truck line is even up to the business. And right now it's not. It has a rate of only 280. And we really need it to get up to about 400. So we need quite a few more trucks. We need at least a third more trucks. Let's see, are these the newest trucks? Yep, I think those are the newest ones. So let's just try adding another 5 trucks here. And we'll clone those trucks. And that will get our capacity up to 379. So we probably need to do even another, let's try adding one more truck. $399. Okay, that's good. All right, so we've cleared that up, and so now what we can do is go ahead and drop a new stop in for the bricks. And maybe that can go right here. And then I just want to make sure that we're really getting all of our bread drop-off coverage. We're not hitting... Yeah, we are hitting that guy, aren't we? So it looks... Yeah, it looks like that one could stay where it is. And let's start by saying, let's add first our brick line. Make it red. Brick red. At the wharf warehouse, we will load bricks. And at Cherry Street, we'll unload them. This will be called Delivery Cape Girardeau Bricks. Okay, and so this line is it's traveling like that. Let's see, would it make more sense to have it come... You know, I think I'd prefer to have it come around the other direction. I wonder if we put... Let's try something here. What if we put a bus stop on the other side of the street? Okay. Alright, there we go. So we have the brick line that's running this way. And the food line which is running this way. And they're mostly staying clear of the lumber trucks. All right, so Eliza, we have finished the Cape Girardeau delivery line. So we've knocked off the first item on your punch list. The next item is that the lumber mills need more logs. So this one I'm hoping will be a pretty easy one. Right now, we're not quite getting all of the production that we could. We really need to be delivering 800 logs from these 2 forests up here. And currently, this line only runs 744. So it doesn't need quite 10% more. Maybe just 2, maybe 3 more flat cars. So let's do that. I don't think we want to try to run a second shunt. It's not really necessary. The length of this train, while it's kind of ridiculous already, it doesn't really matter that much because it doesn't have any switches it has to clear when it turns around at the station. So let's go ahead and manage this vehicle and try adding, first of all, just a couple of these flat cars with side stakes. Let's do 2 of them. And then let's see what that does for the capacity of this line. It brings us up to 796. So it's just slightly short of our 800. I think if we added another, we'd overshoot it by a bit. So I think this will be fine. And we can now safely knock the second item off of Eliza's punch list. Those first two were very easy. May it all go so quick. I don't know about that. So the next item that she has on her punch list is that the Evansville fuel refinery needs more refined oil. And so what we see here, we have the ability to produce up to 400 refined fuel, but currently we're capped at 200 because we have only one oil well supplying it. And while it can supply 400 crude, that turns into only 200 refined. So there is another oil well that we can get hooked up here. The question is, where can we do this? And ideally, I'd want to put a truck station or train station in that doesn't ideally if it could go here, that would be great, but I don't think that that'll have the reach it needs to reach the oil refinery in the catchment area. And we have no place here that we can put it. We could conceivably wow, limited opportunities here. Let's see, maybe if we did a little shorter, what could we do? We could reposition this bridge if we need to. Maybe that's what we need to do. Yeah. We could take this bridge out. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a new bridge here. This is kind of funky. And I think we're gonna pause, so we don't want the game building stuff in our face here. And we do want to... Oh, I don't want you going this way. I want the trucks to go this way. And now let's see if we can get a street in here. Let's see, maybe even a little farther. Okay. And let's see if we do that. Could we put a turnaround here? For our drop-off? Keep it flat if we can. Then bring it on around. And then our trucks could come in here. They're going to come in this way. And they could drop off just right here. And let's see, did you pick up the... You did. Okay. So those are going to be moving over to there. And let's see, what is our rate here? 342. That's actually not very good. We really need that to be closer to 400. We are running into the challenge of trucks starting to back into each other. But if we got another, let's see, how many, we need almost 20%, 15% more trucks. So if we got 4 more trucks, what would that look like? Let's try that out. Did we get our new trucks in? We did. What did that do to our line rate? $3.99. Okay. You know what? If that will, if they'll run that, then that'll be fine. And then in terms of our train station, can we get a train in here? Actually, it's kind of tricky here. We could get one right here. And then we'll just build a bridge that goes over to here. Yeah. That works. Okay, let's go ahead and get another station down to this end. Because I do think a shunt's the way to go here. Hate to put more trains in. Liar. I like to put more trains in. We can make this end a little bit longer. And we put you here. And let's get a bit of road in here. See if I can turn this around. Will it make it easier to see? God, it's so hard to see. It's trees. Okay, I think through the trees I can see that we have an attachment. So let's just, and we've got one here. Okay, that looks good. So now we just need to connect the remainder of our tracks up here. Bring it over to here. Okay. And then we also need to get a depot in here. So we'll have it come in from here. And get that in there. And now we can get a train in. But before we do, let's go ahead and name this. This isn't Springfield. It is... What's this oil well called? New Albany. New Albany oil well. Okay. And then this is our Evansville oil refinery. And now let's create our line. And so the line will go from here to here. We'll make it gray like the other crude line. At the New Albany oil well, we will load crude. And at Evansville oil refinery, we will unload. And we will name this lovely line a shunt. And it will be the Evansville crude shunt. Very well. And it needs a train. So I think it's going to have to be a pretty good sized train. How big does it need to be? Oh, we'll start with that, and we'll see if that gets us there. And we will assign you the the crude shunt, or the shunt. Where is it here? Evansville crude. Oh, and we've already started production. Oh, 441. That's actually too many cars on it. So let's edit that down. Can we take 2 off? Let's see, what does this look like now? 401, perfect. All right, so we have knocked another item off the punch list. And what we're seeing now is we are producing. We have a consumer. It wants 400. And we're going to start shipping it to it. Now, there's a little bit of a ripple effect here, and that ripple effect is that's also going to need, or it's going to require that our delivery trucks increase. But I'm actually quite reluctant to do that. I think one of the things we had talked about early on in this series was, instead of running trucks from Cape Girardeau to Evansville Fuel Refinery, or not Cape Girardeau, oh, it is called the Cape Girardeau Oil Refinery. That's kind of funny. I would have thought it'd be the Evansville one. Well, in any event, we talked about possibly running barges back and forth here. And I'm still thinking that might be the ticket. As it is, we've got a lot of trucks here running through town. They're causing a lot of emissions. And we're going to need to double the number of trucks if we're going to keep up with the new capacity of this oil refinery. So, we know that we're going to have some significant changes to this harbor coming up. And we might want to wait until we get to that. But I think what we'll do is, as a short-term measure, we're going to go ahead and enable or put this wharf in here. It's going to be kind of a smoking little wharf here. I think we can sneak it in right here. And let's get that in. So what we kind of wanted to do is we want it to stick out a bit. Now, do we want to make it so it can be a big wharf? It's an interesting idea. I think I'm going to probably break everything if I put this in here. I wonder if I could put it in the other direction. It's going to cause some heartache there. Could put it right there. Actually, you know what? It could even sneak in right there. We could even leave. Oops. Dang it. Hit the wrong button. I do this a lot. The N and the B keys are right next to each other, and I think I'm turning the station I'm trying to put in, and it ends up... I almost had it there. Yeah, that's pretty good. I wonder if it'll let me put a large dock in to do that. Ooh. Oh, this is interesting. It's in. Okay. So we got a large dock in. We don't have to do any fancy stuff. We just have to get it connected. That's all. Okay. Oops, did I not hit? Oh, we gotta... Where do we have a problem here? Are these lines now? Did I block navigable? Oh, I did. I broke the navigable waterway. Let's pause a second here. So, this was not our wisest moment. Let's try something here. We could just try putting a regular size cargo dock on here. Landing. And now we got rid of, we fixed it. Now the only risk here is that if we don't have enough barges coming back and forth here, they're going to back up. But you know, that's just the risk we're going to run. We're just going to have to keep an eye on it and make sure that we have enough barges there. So let's go ahead and get this line established. It's a new line from here to here. We'll make it really dark, refined fuel, although it's kind of a bluish color, isn't it? Oh well. And it is a see, what's our naming convention for barges? Oh, barge. Evansville crude. No, refined. Oh yeah, lost it again. Let's kind of to it. There we are. And we will load refined. And down here at Evansville East, we will unload. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a couple of... Oh, we have some ships here? Uh-oh. They were probably destined for somewhere. Well, poor things. We'll have to figure out where they were going to go initially, but this is where they're going to go for now. They have a potential rate of 234. That's not going to be enough. But I think what I want to do first of all, just to make sure there's no confusion here, I'm going to get rid of all of these trucks. And we're going to sell you. What? And then we're going to go ahead and delete this line. And then we can actually delete this too, can't we? And now we've got some crude waiting. And this line has a rate of 234. I think what we'll want to do is add at least one more. That's not going to be enough. Let's see, what does this say? 351. Well, you can't have too much overkill, can you? So we're going to put one more barge on here. And then we're going to name these. I thought there was a way to name them from in here. Maybe it's here. We'll do it this way. We'll call you Barge Evansville Find. And you need to be renamed okay. And you need to be renamed. I don't know where this lag is coming from, but I've got some lag at the moment. Very strange. Evansville refined. Okay, so these are all now up and running. They probably have a ridiculous rate for this line, 468. That's more than they're going to need, but that way at least we'll make sure that we have full coverage up here. Now we know that's going to start to cause problems up here at the harbor, but we are going to fix those problems. soon. Before we get to that, though, let's go ahead and look at the next item on the punch list, which is that the Evansville delivery lines need help, that we need to have more trucks. So even though this is a combined drop-off, Eliza's saying we only need this one drop-off to supply everybody in town. Is she right on that? Are we getting everything? It kind of looks like she's right. I think there's a few of them here that aren't getting their bread, but I think they're getting it from the harbor instead. Yeah. So I think she's right. We just need to increase the capacity of the trucks on this line. We see that we need a total really of just over 200 for both the bricks and the bread. And our current line will deliver 155, but you know what? These are our old vehicles. So the first thing that we can do is replace all of these vehicles with the more modern versions. Let's go ahead and increase the maintenance because they are running through town. And when we do that, we see that now we're at 194. We could probably use one more truck on this line, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay. So now we should have coverage for all of the goods that are coming into Evansville, and we'll keep the demand up. And what I'm seeing is something else here that wasn't on our punch list. It looks like this 61 people, and they're spilling over. And this is on Evansville Ferry counterclockwise, or clockwise rather. And, I think we probably need to add a couple more. Now, let's see, what do we have there? Are those stage course? Oh, no, those are horse-drawn carriages. So it's an early city. So what happens when we... Let's see, let's go back here first and just remind ourselves, what is the rate on this? 41. If we replace all of these with stagecoaches, we now have a rate of 51. So that's a 25% increase. The other thing we probably want to do while we're in here is increase the maintenance on these. You know what? We're going to be coming back here to look at the harbor. So let's go ahead and just accept that improvement for now and see what it does to the overall delivery rate. Okay, so we've made some progress today on Eliza's punch list. There's still a lot to go. I don't know if we're going to finish it next time. I'm rather doubtful. I have to say I'm a little nervous about this Evansville Harbor rebuild that Eliza wants us to do. That's going to be a little bit scary. We don't have a lot of room to work with. I think we're going to have to do some dredging, and it's going to be a little bit tricky to fit everything in. But I think if we do it right, we could end up with something that is pretty cool there. So with that, I think we're good. We'll just enjoy our trip into the station here to pick up some fuel. And folks, I enjoyed this episode. Hope you did as well. And I'll see you next time.